Welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer.
All right, guys. So just a couple of hours ago today, the winner of the 2020 NBA Most Valuable Player Award was announced. Now, if you guys have not already checked out our video in which we're predicting the winner, that'll be linked in the top right-hand corner as a card. However, today, the news was indeed broken that Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks has won his back-to-back Most Valuable Player Award. Not only did Giannis win the MVP, guys, but he joins a very selective group of people, that including the great Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon, to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Now, guys, I know I got an opinion on this, but I'm going to get started with W. What do you got to say about Giannis winning the award?
I know it's a trend on this show, and it's usually that my predictions are always right. And
Okay,
I
stop
called
the
it
cap.
from the I've noticed called it from the beginning. Giannis is going to win MVP, and it was pretty obvious. Come on, Ryan, whatever argument you're gonna give about playoffs and his performance and that getting beat by the Heat, that has nothing to do with the MVP award. It's all about regular season. Giannis was a beast. Bucks were first best team in the East, and the best record, best player. There's no debate.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to go back to the prediction video where I said I thought LeBron would win. I just want to clarify that I thought LeBron was going to win. I said in that video, too, that Giannis deserves the MVP, and I'm very happy that he won. But I was saying LeBron would win because of the narrative, and I'm glad the narrative didn't play its role in this MVP selection and that Giannis won the rightfully deserved MVP this year.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that I believe that Giannis should deserved it. He got it. End of story. LeBron definitely did deserve it because of narrative, like you said, Harsh.
All right, so I've said it from the start. So first of all, let me preface this by saying that very happy for Giannis Antetokounmpo, considering his background, the career he's made in the league. You got to be happy and respect the man for that. But I personally believe that those 16 votes for LeBron in the first place should have been more. You see, when you think of LeBron James and you compare him to Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay, sure. If you're a person who looks at the numbers, Giannis outscored LeBron in points and rebounds. However, LeBron had more assists. Okay, so forget about the stats, right? Look at the overall value which LeBron brings to his team over Giannis Antetokounmpo. The amount of years of leadership, the overall experience which I believe that LeBron James brings to a value in the state today, on September 19th, I think that prevails any value which Giannis Antetokounmpo brings. Now, is it close? Of course. They're both top two players in the league. And also, a second point we're trying to bring up is that a lot of people, especially when LeBron James was in the East with the Heat and the Cavs, they used to say that, hey, I want to see LeBron James replicate the success in the West. Okay, LeBron says, okay, let me do that. Sure, last season there was some unfortunate events which happened with the injury. He missed 26 games, something of that sort. But this year, comeback season, revenge season, we all know what that's about. He came back and led the Lakers to be the first seed in the West, something which hasn't been done since the late Kobe Bryant was there with the Lakers. So if you take all that into
hold
account,
up.
Wait, hold
consider
up.
how
All three legs of your argument do not
Yeah,
stand
but let me start
at all.
off
Let
with
me
the
start
first
Let me
part
start
of
off.
your
Let me start
argument.
off. Let me dissect this.
Okay,
Okay, I want to bring up the narrative point that you brought up. Okay, that is complete utter garbage.
No.
Who cares about that he didn't make the playoffs last year? Who cares that he's in the West now? Who cares that he's like all the legacy you talk about? Oh, he couldn't do in the West. You have to focus on 2020. In 2020, did he or Giannis have a better season? Obviously, more wins, more points, more rebounds, all go toward Giannis. It's so clear that Giannis should deserve the MVP.
You keep saying how LeBron's impact this year, like he's come out of nowhere, he's made a huge impact, but I think you're forgetting about a player who's almost as good as LeBron on that team, Anthony Davis, and the value he brings. It's not just LeBron, it's 82, and Giannis. If we're going to talk about records too, Giannis is the best in the East, and the East is honestly maybe not as competitive, but a little bit less competitive than the West this year. Looking at the teams, look at Heat, Celtics. They're both great teams. I think there's no way that the West can for sure say that they're going to beat the East this year, and it just that argument doesn't really make sense. I think.
I also want to add just one before you go, Harsh. One more point to B. You talk about LeBron having AD, despite despite Giannis Antetokounmpo not having another elite player on his team, he had a better record than the Lakers. I mean, if that doesn't tell you what you need to know.
But the thing is, LeBron had a so much closer, like in terms of stats, if you're talking about stats right now, right? LeBron and Giannis' number were so much closer. Sure, not in rebounds. There was like a 4 rebound differential. But LeBron did almost the same stats with a generational talent like Anthony Davis, who was arguably in the top 3 conversation of this league. So if LeBron can do that with such a great talent who needs the ball, who is scoring and having a good performance every night, that just goes to show how great of a player he is.
Having that star only makes it easier to achieve all that.
Dude,
now the defense has to split the floor between 2 prime players. You have the best player in the league, Giannis. You have number 2 at LeBron, and arguably the 3rd best player, Anthony Davis, on the court. Right? Now the defense has to split not only between those 2 players, but now they have to diverge to all the other 3 players that are also filling on the starting lineup. For Giannis, they can literally stack the paint with 3 players and have 2 on the outside because Chris Middleton is the only other threat outside of Giannis on that lineup.
Yeah, come on, Ryan. You can't really say that having another superstar really makes LeBron's value go even more down. I mean, look at how often they pass to each other. Look at their chemistry. They make each other better. There's no doubting that. So you can't say by having a superstar and the fact that LeBron puts those numbers, that doesn't really make sense because they have a big correlation, and that's why he puts up those numbers because of AD.
And one final thing. You talk about how he has to do it with a much better player than Giannis had to, right? LeBron led in assists. It's easier to get assists when you have better players on the court scoring points.
I'm going to go back to the argument about the conference. Many people, analysts, whoever you take, they all used to say the fact that LeBron, when he was in the East, he could do it because the East was easy. And now today, the fact still holds. The West is still a better conference and a much more competitive conference than you compare it to the East. Sure, in the East, like Abi, you mentioned, there's some notable teams like the Raptors, the Celtics, and obviously the Heat right now. However, looking at the overall Western Conference, it's a much harder conference to win. And to say that LeBron James, I believe the Lakers won 51, 52 games this season, to have that success and LeBron to put up those monstrous numbers, considering, I'm not going to say this is a huge fact, but still, in his 17th season, that has to mean something.
Wait, Rand, you just said Giannis deserves the award then. Because you're saying the argument used against LeBron in 2012 and 2013 was that the East is too easy. Who won the MVP those 2 years, Rayon?
LeBron James, obviously, because LeBron, okay, if you look at the numbers at that time, LeBron was the best player overall in both conferences. Like, there wasn't even...
And Giannis is the best player overall in both conferences.
No, that does not apply.
And you keep, like...
The logic cuts both ways.
Yeah, you keep contradicting yourself, and I don't really see how you have an argument, even being a LeBron James fan. I think it was pretty obvious. Look like Stephen A. Smith like rubbing off on you these days or something. But it was pretty obvious that Giannis is going to win.
All right, guys. So for sure, it was a competitive MVP race. However, Giannis Antetokounmpo, much respect to him, did pull away with 85 first-place votes and securing that back-to-back MVP award. Although Giannis is not in the playoffs and LeBron James is right now, it'll be interesting to see how these playoffs unfold. As always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts. Did you feel like that LeBron deserves the MVP, or did you feel like somebody else who we did not talk about deserves the MVP? As always, guys, we hope that you guys take care, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.